So, for the first time in what felt like forever, the Will of Crota strike was the Nightfall this week with some pretty fun modifiers. Solar Burn and Specialist make for some pretty fun times. But within the Will of Crota lies the Grasp of Malok pulse rifle, one of the most sought after pulse rifles. So what makes Grasp of Malok so special? It's one of the few legendary super fast firing pulse rifles. Two of the others drop only from raids, so they're not easily earned or accessible. Farming the Grasp of Malok is pretty easy this particular week because it is the Nightfall, and on the Nightfall, strike-specific items drop at a significantly higher rate than they normally do. Note that you don't actually need to go through the entire strike over and over to farm. When given the opportunity to attack Omnigul in the third fighting area, you can actually just kill her, and for some strange reason, she'll drop items. Whether that's intended or not, I have no idea. It doesn't really seem that intended to me. Regardless, this begs the question, what are some good roles for Grasp of Malok? Well, let's take a look at the possible perks. In the scope column, look for basically any red dot scope that isn't ORS1. We're not looking for high amounts of zoom on this weapon. In the first perk slot, we have Partial Refund, Eye of the Storm, Life Support, Danger Close, Surrounded, Exhumed, Secret Round, Rangefinder, Head Seeker, Counterbalance, and Outlaw. Stuff in red, like Exhumed and Surrounded, are not going to be worth your time perk-wise. Stuff in yellow, like Life Support, is alright, but you should have another good perk to support it, and stuff in green is solid. Therefore, the best stuff is going to be stuff like Counterbalance and Outlaw, with Life Support and Rangefinder following it. The best is easily Counterbalance, even with its nerfs. Outlaw as a perk is still really good, but on Grasp isn't anything amazing. Headshot kills are going to be a little more rare using Grasp compared to other weapons, and it's possible to get two other reload-based perks, which I'll talk about in a second. In the second perk slot, we have Guerrilla Fighter, Third Eye, Spray and Play, Last Resort, Army of One, Glass Half Full, Grenadier, and Feeding Frenzy. So you can see why I'm not a huge fan of Outlaw on this weapon. There are two other reload perks available that will likely proc more often. In general, there's a lot of good stuff here. Guerrilla Fighter you can pretty much ignore. I think Last Resort isn't too great either. Glass Half Full, I think, is super overrated on this weapon. It's not really going to do a ton for you at all, and it will very, very rarely get you a faster kill. Army of One and Grenadier kind of fall into the same category, both being not too shabby. Spray and Play is reliable, but I personally like Feeding Frenzy over it because I'm a compulsive reloader, and I reload after nearly every single PvP kill. Third Eye is also a relatively solid option. In the middle column, we're looking for Braced, Frame, or Hand-Laid Stock. Small Bore is okay as a third option if you have really good perks elsewhere. Perfect Balance is probably the only top perk that I would consider, and that's also if you had really, really good rolls on everything else. The range on Grasp is already really good, boosting it is okay, but we want this thing to be as stable as possible. In short, the Grasp of Malok is a pretty good PvP weapon. Its super high rate of fire means you're constantly knocking people's aim off target, and the fact that it can kill in 3 bursts, assuming very, very accurate fire, means it can kill even faster than something like Hawksaw. On average, you're probably going to require 4 to 5 bursts to kill though. Getting those 3 burst kills is going to be really hard to do. Something like Hawksaw is going to be more reliable, especially the vendor one, given how easy it is to get. The recoil pattern is up and to the right, but at least to me, didn't feel super difficult to control, and at the time of this recording, my Grasp of Malok has Life Support and Feeding Frenzy on it with a very small stability buff. The thing that really stands out to me on the Grasp is its range. The damage fall off almost feels non-existent, meaning you're getting full damage from ranges that might maybe exceed what feels appropriate. The more range you have, the better the weapon will perform damage-wise from a myriad of distances, making you a threat from almost anywhere on the map. Because of this, your special slot can be filled with any weapon that you want. Generally, if you're using something like a scout rifle, you want your special to be maybe a shotgun so you have better close range defense. The opposite goes for an auto rifle. You're fine up close and at medium range, but maybe a sniper can help defend you against long distance opponents. With Grasp, it covers most ranges so well that you're free to choose whatever. The weapon is really solid on nearly every map, and you can use your special to kind of complement the kind of map that you're playing on. All in all, it's a pretty fun weapon and one that performs moderately well. There's not too many of the archetype freely available. It's definitely not the best weapon that you can find, and to farm one that has great perks might take a little while without some luck. And with the vendor Hawksaw being a thing, if you don't snag a Grasp of Malok, it's not the worst thing in the world. That's what I got for you guys on the Grasp of Malok. If you enjoyed the video, a positive rating is appreciated. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time.